Alright, fuckers, welcome back to Practicing Environments, an artwod roadmap, right? The artwod environment roadmap, right? Artwod is the best platform to teach you how. What the fuck? To teach you how to draw from imagination. They give you the work, not the shortcut. Jesus Christ, work that lets you draw like this after 3 years and 9 months, right? Gluck, Antonio Staperis, the creator of Artwod and Artwod itself, right? Who am I? I'm Viggy. This channel is a repository of my practice where I aim to prove anybody can draw by extensively cataloging the entire process, right? To aim to prove that anybody can learn to draw, especially you, by focusing on the one thing that we can control, which is the effort, right? And obviously where the effort is controlled and all that shit. Simple forms, not easy, basic forms, all that shit. Anyways, get your pen, get your paper, draw along with me, please. Thank you, give me your attention, keep me on the background. I fucked that intro up, bro. This is what happens when you don't draw for a day. I didn't draw yesterday because I was too busy with other shit, right? I had some other work to do, but we're here now, right? So what are we doing? We're doing the Artwod environment roadmap, right? We are essentially practicing how to manipulate a ground plane, right? Bless me. At its core, that's what we're doing, right? Now, Artwod's exercise is much more simple than this. Their exercise is literally to draw a plane, to draw semi, like half cylinders, right? And then to like put the drapery over it. What I'm doing is much more complicated because I am much more advanced. I have roughly 400 plus hours more experience than what they require for this beginner exercise. But as always, you have to make things more difficult for yourself. So what I'm doing is I'm visualizing everything and then I'm applying only the manipulated ground plane, right? So what do I mean by visualizing everything? That means I am imagining the box, right? Let's say I'm going to start with, again, a box that is, let's start with a difficult box, right? Always got to start with a difficult box. So let's say I'll start with a box in this angle, right? So I'm imagining that at a very large scale. I'm trying to see through the box. I've already started thinking, by the way, because the drawing is thinking. It's like fucking 60 to 70% thinking. The 30%, which is still very important, very difficult, is the fine motor application, right? But I'm thinking about the box, right? And I'm thinking about the ground plane, and then I'm embedding, and I'm thinking about, and I'm seeing through the box, and think about every single diagonal cross section, visible and invisible, on the planes, right? And I'm trying to calculate and hold that in my mind. And already I've lost it and the box is going all over the place, right? But I'm trying to hold that in my mind. And then I'm embedding in this ground plane, which is the ground plane, right? In it, I'm embedding half of an ellipse, half of a cylinder, sorry, but it's half an ellipse. And then I'm projecting it outward. And then I'm imagining, and then I'm wrapping essentially a thin fabric, right? This is kind of like drapery practice, but in a sense, because you're manipulating terrain, right? But I'm essentially embedding multiple cylinders inside of it. And then I am going to create the ground plane, right? Like this manipulated ground plane, because I'm going to create a thin sheet that goes over it and still keeping, and I'm trying to hold all these dozens of items in my mind, right? And I'm just ghosting right now to give you an example of like that's how I'll be applying it. But that's it. That's it. I'm holding a dozen items minimum in my mind. The box, all visible planes and invisible planes, the 6 planes, the diagonal cross sections, calculating all of that, trying to hold a box that's very large in nature as well, like trying to visualize and calculate. That's what I say when I'm trying to hold it. I'm trying to visualize, calculate, constantly see that, and then I'm trying to embed forms in the ground plane inside of that, and then I'm trying to wrap a thin layer, like essentially manipulate the terrain. But it's right now in this context, it is where it's plane manipulation, right? So we're manipulating the plane. I'm only drawing the manipulated plane, but visualizing those shapes underneath it. And I'm also trying to make it more difficult by manipulating the contour of those shapes as well. You'll see here, I tried to do that, right? Like I'm trying to angle it outward. And those angles are based on this diagonal cross section, or if it's halfway, this subtle diagonal cross section. Like if this is the halfway point, from this point to that point, and that's what this is, right? So multiple things held in my working memory, and that's exactly what the skill of draftsmanship is again, Michelangelo said this: a painter is only as good as the quality of his thinking, right? What the fuck does that tell you if Michelangelo said that? Think, my guy, right? Oh my girl, like fucking what, like 8% female audience? Yeah, think, motherfucker, think. And embrace the extreme cognitive friction. Not pain, not like, oh my god, it's a grind, but simply friction, right? And know that the friction is where the learning occurs. Like when you feel like a fucking idiot, like I do right now, right? Like when you feel like an absolute fucking mongoloid, that's exactly where you're growing. And right now I'm trying to think about the box. I'll be explicit. I'm thinking about the box. I can barely see the other side, but I'm trying to think about that. I'm trying to hold all the diagonal cross sections in my mind, right? The box is tilting. Like it started off in this angle and now it's going this way. So again, attaching dopamine to that, feeling good about that friction, right? And then trying to visualize every single diagonal cross section. And now I'm trying to, because I also want to apply, just not just think, right? But I'm trying to think about the cylinders that I want to embed, or this, and they're not just going to be cylinders. They might be rounded, right? Single rounded, more squarish shapes, right? Like it was here, right? Not squarish, but like this is technically single rounded, right? I was trying to think about a plane that was like this, and then I was rounding it along the corners, like so, right? So, yeah, I mean, I know it's been 5 minutes that I haven't drawn, but I've been thinking and I've been trying to explain everything, but now it's time to draw, right? Now it's just time to try to think about all of that, struggle immensely, right? Struggle cognitively immensely, and just do my best, right? And you see, like, I changed the angle, and I'm not looking at that line right now, and I'm getting better at drawing consistent, clean lines without looking at the line. Like, it's extremely difficult to not look at the line and draw something clean, to be honest. And that's a skill I'm building in motor control and hand-eye coordination, right? As well as zooming out, like essentially building quote-unquote page vision, right? But just know that I'm constantly trying to calculate the diagonal cross sections and the box, and now I am going to think about the cylinder that I want to be wrapping this around. That's extremely difficult because I got to make sure, because I'm not looking at it as well, right? I'm not looking at it, but I still have to think about the overall form, right? Because it's, man, I don't know how to explain this. I'm basically trying to hold the form in my mind and think in terms of the ground plane being consistent as well. Right, and this isn't the difficult part, because this is just one end. The difficult part is maintaining the perspective of this organic form, right, whilst I also try to manipulate this, because right now I'm thinking that I want to make this diagonal, right, very similar to what I did here, right, actually that's basically the fucking same angle, Jesus Christ, but very similar to what I did there, right, so, but this time, why don't we make this lower, like, I'll make this slightly more condensed, right? I'm gonna visualize this semi-cylinder, this half a cylinder, to be tapering downward and this to be tapering upward. And that tapering is gonna be based on what I visualize here for this diagonal cross section. So this and this diagonal, and then I need to make it more subtle. So it needs to be this level of subtlety, and then that needs to be applied. And again, I already got this ellipse wrong. Like this ellipse is already wrong, right? So there's already mistakes right here in terms of like how I contoured it. And that's amazing. Like I'm just forcing myself to feel good right now. And let's see. So now I just need to think about the other side, right? And this is already incorrect because again, aligning it is super difficult, right? But I was just trying to make sure that this is trying to taper downwards and that this is going to taper upwards. So that is actually going to be the most difficult part of all of this. And again, I'm not looking at the mark either, but now I have to think like, okay, again, like I lost the diagonal cross section multiple times there, right? But I have to, and let's actually close this off, right? Is this cheating? Who fucking knows? It's hard enough as it is, right? With the ground planes and all that shit. So I'm trying to think about the diagonal cross section. I'm trying to think like, okay, I want this to go, let's make it go, yeah, this way. Let's make it, yeah, there you go. Let's make it be this diagonal cross section, right? So that one is roughly like so, I think, right? And then and it has to be the same length. Let's not forget that this still has to maintain the same length as this, right? And while I'm doing this, I'm genuinely trying to think about all the, oh my god. So how the fuck is this gonna come down? How is this gonna come down? I actually need to think about this. So this is, I manipulate it all the way up like this, right? And then it's essentially being okay, how the fuck do I do this? Okay, so I think I need to, there you go, bring that up over there, and then it goes all the way up, comes around, and something like this, right? But then how does that, how does that, dude, that's so fucking hard to figure out. How does that come down over here? Like, it's, and I can't think of anything. I can't think about the box anymore because I'm trying to literally, while I'm trying to think about the box and what this is embedded in, I'm trying to spatially reason how this is wrapping, right? Like, or like how this form is wrapping and what exactly is going on with this form. So very difficult to do because I think it comes down around here, but that doesn't seem accurate in terms of the perspective that's being established. So I'm not sure exactly what was to be done. Hold up. I know the mistake I made. This is supposed to come straight down, right? I think this is supposed to come straight down, and then it's, and the angle is wrong too. Yeah, like the angle is, this is actually diverging. I see that now. It's supposed to be coming straight down like this. So then we have the, I don't fucking know. And then I actually think that that line is a mistake as well, because I was supposed to close this off. That is, I don't know what the fuck I did. Oh god damn, was that my spit? Disgusting. I don't know what the fuck I did. That was so difficult to reason. So now, obviously, I'm gonna have to do the thing to try to see all of this properly, right? Well, actually, let's not forget that I still need to add the contour lines, right? And let's see, there you go. There's a little contour line right there. Actually, no, because it's going downwards, so we don't even see that. But either way, let's not forget that I still have to add the, and I'm purposefully making this smaller, but you see how difficult it is to align, like while thinking about the box, and like I can barely think about the box, but while thinking about the box and thinking about these forms, it is so difficult to align the perspective of these contours as well, right? And it's genuinely a struggle. It's genuinely a fucking insane struggle, and I have nothing to say because I'm fucking struggling and dying, but I should be talking. I'm sorry. I should be telling you that, okay, I'm trying to think about the semi-cylindrical form, right? This half-cylindrical form and how it's tapering inward. I'm trying to think about how the contour wraps around that, right? I'm trying to think about the box while I'm doing all of that, right? I'm trying to hold all these items in my working memory, but I'm failing to, like a shit ton, and I'm attaching dopamine to this entire effort, right? I apologize. That's exactly, like, those are the words you need to hear, in my opinion. Like, I shouldn't be like, oh guys, this is difficult. I'm trying to hold a shit ton of items in my working memory. And you can see, like, and look at that. I literally couldn't even fathom that this and this are diverging so much. I couldn't fathom it. Why? Because I was holding so many things in my mind, right? And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And again, like, I'm trying to, even here, like, I'm still trying to reason, trying to figure out how the fuck I did this, right? Like, what the fuck this shape even was. So it was supposed to, it was supposed to come out like this, and then, come down like here. That's correct, right? Because that is the box. And then this is actually the main problem. This is what was causing the issue. Like this connection I made in haste. But I didn't make it in haste in the sense that, like, I wasn't thinking, but I made it fast, and I wasn't able to think of as many things as I wanted to, right? But even here, like, I have to think about and again, like, this isn't even, like, connected properly, because look how wide this is, and this is converging a lot. Like, this versus, like, this going all the way here, and this is converging quite fast, right? Like, it shouldn't be exactly parallel, because items in real life do converge, like, slightly. Like, nothing is true parallel, right? But this is also, what I mean is this is converging. This right here, what I made, this connection I made here. I don't know why it's like that, but this connection I made here. But anyways, I'm trying to think about the overall form, right? And I'm trying to think about, while I'm doing this, I'm trying to think about the specific, this shape, like, that I'm wrapping it around, right? I'm trying to think about it all the way through, right? And while I'm doing that, I'm trying to constantly remind myself to remember the diagonal cross sections, and that is incredibly fucking difficult to do. Like, that is without a doubt probably one of the hardest things to do right now, because I can barely think, right? I mean, I can think. What I'm saying is, like, I am thinking a lot, but because I'm thinking so much, I can't think of everything at once, right? Like, I can barely hold all these items in my working memory, is what I mean, right? And this is also wrong. This should be a straight line, and this should also, see, but it's about course correcting and realizing that, like, oh, like, this is something that's going larger and larger, and it should be coming down here, right? But I don't actually, is that accurate? Who fucking knows? Who fucking knows, bro? I have no idea. The skill of trying to understand contours is so difficult, because I need to think about the box again. I'm trying to think about the box and how this aligns in perspective, right? And it is, like, it's actually, like, my brain is, like, struggling to conceptualize it within the box, right? To conceptualize it within the box, while also accounting for the fact that this manipulation inside the box is extremely, extremely cognitively demanding, right? So let's get the box underway. Like, this is exactly what I'm trying to think about, all these factors. Now, like, what I'm going to highlight is all the factors that I'm trying to hold in my mind. How did I do this? Okay, I just did the box. Yeah, and then I drew the shapes. Okay, cool. So this is the cognitively demanding task that I'm imposing unto myself, right? Very, very fancy way of saying this. I'm just trying to do this. And I love this shit, bro. Like, this is the stuff that makes me nut, right? This is wet dream worthy. But anyways, trying to fucking figure this out. Like this, you can see like this is diverging. It's going this way. This is going that way, right? Like I completely diverged it, and that's why this box will be incorrect. You know, that's why this box will be incorrect, and that's simply something that I have to accept. And again, while I'm drawing this box, I'm trying to think about all the diagonal cross sections, and it's probably one of the most difficult things to do is try to think about everything at the same time. What a fucking shock. Man tries to think about everything at the same time, discovers that it's very difficult. right, news that I love him. It's just, it's beautiful. And again, I'm attaching dopamine. Like I'm making so many fuck ups right now, but I'm attaching dopamine, i.e. I'm just, every time I feel that friction and that discomfort, I make myself downtown. Taking myself downtown? I don't fucking know. But you see, like I fucked up that line there as well. I'm gonna rest my brain actually, because obviously that was like an intense bout of friction, cognitive effort, and then we shall finish this up and then continue onwards with the next repetition. All right, cool. Please stay hydrated. Drink some water. But yeah, the whole point of this exercise, right? Like, and I think it's fucking brilliant. I genuinely think it's brilliant. And the thing is, like, that's why I love artwod. Like, everybody, like, has a platform that they like, obviously. But the reason I love artwod is because they have literally broken down draftsmanship into tangible micro steps. And the thing is, it can always be more broken down. Like I get it. Like there have been times where I wish that they explained something better. Even in this exact exercise, right? Like there's an explanation here that makes no fucking sense to me. And that's with my level of advancement, quote unquote, being as proficient as it is, right? Like that is, it's still, I was just like, what the fuck does this mean? So you could always explain things better, right? But it's like, the fact that, and I'm sure many artists went through this trial and error process, but the fact is they're removing the trial and error of being like, okay, how do I practice this? And that's why I tell them, like, that's why I love them, and that's why I keep saying, like, just turn your fucking brain off and do 100 times the repetition that they require of you, because they have given you the work, not the shortcut, right? But the work. And every single one of you cunts who want a shortcut, get the fuck off this channel. There are no shortcuts, and there is no tooth fairy. I'm sorry. All right, Santa Claus might be real. I'm still fact checking on that one, but what's it called? Right, I made myself laugh with my own joke and I lost my fucking train of thought, but yeah, there are no shortcuts, but they give you the work. Like it's literally just turn your fucking brain off and do the work. It is like, I can't think of anything else, any other platform. Like it's like the shit that Athoro is doing, Broken Draw, like they're all just giving you these very, very tangible, and like again, the art coach, I love the art coach on Instagram, right? Like these people who are all form first and pure draftsmanship and just understand. And you see how wrong that is? That's a beautiful, beautiful mistake, right? But these people who are all form first and understand draftsmanship and are good draftsmen and know how to distill this content and this information into tangible, actionable exercises, right? This is a fucking blessing, you know? And I see beginners are always fucking, and by the way, when I say beginners, I mean beginners with a poor mindset, i.e. beginners, right? Like most beginners have a fucking garbage tier mindset when it comes to learning, right? Because I have to try, the try feels like really difficult. Oh my God, I'm gonna be shit for hundreds of hours, right? Well, because of instant gratification, all that shit, right? But, and again, this is what I'm thinking of. Like, this is literally what I'm trying to embed inside of, like, this is what I'm trying to visualize and calculate in my mind, like this shape, right? And it's, see, like it's tapering, you know, it starts off much larger. This contour starts off much larger and then it tapers inwards, right? And this is the center line. And this is just purely for my sake, right? And it's tapering inwards, it's getting smaller, right? That's why the center line is essentially, it's condensing. At least that's how I'm interpreting it, that's how I'm reasoning it, that's how I'm understanding the form. But yeah, like, I think genuinely what artwod did here, especially with this, what the fuck is this, I think this shape, yeah, it was supposed to be something like this. There you go, like a, yeah, like a diagonally tapered cylinder almost, right? Diagonally tapered, multiple rounded or single rounded at the top, right? And that's again, like, again, what the fuck, again, that's why like I keep saying, just turn your fucking brain off. Just turn your brain off and do the fucking repetitions. Think as much as you can to the best of your ability. Even now, like, I'm trying to think about the box. Am I doing it? No, I'm fucking failing miserably. But I'm trying to think about the box, and I'm trying to think about the, let's see, and I'm trying to figure out, like, what, again, this manipulation right here is very difficult, right? So I think it was, yeah, see, like, I got this wrong here, like this line, it's not in perspective, right? Like, it's going this way. Well, this is going this way, right? This way versus this way. It makes all the difference. Like, this is why draftsmanship is so hard, right? Much like myself. And you see, like, this is actually like a good thinness. Like, this is the thinness that it's supposed to stay at. But you'll see now that when I come back down, it's going to be misaligned. Why? Why is it misaligned, right? Because, and actually, like, this should have been more diagonal. Yeah, actually, like, this should have been more diagonal. Actually, maybe it shouldn't have been misaligned, right? Because, yeah, I did make it more diagonal. So, yeah, this shape needs to, actually, yeah. Oh, wow, I didn't understand this at all. I didn't understand this at all. So this shape needs to be, it's a diagonal shape. So it should have been something like, yeah, if I just follow and make it larger, it should have been something like this. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Jesus Christ. And then this is the center, right? Roughly. And yeah, there you go. That's the diagonal. And then it comes down at the top, or comes from the top like that way. If you didn't see what I did, basically I made this go straight at the back, and then I realized the shape that I was wrapping it around, the three-dimensional shape, was diagonal. So what that means is, let's say, that means like this is the contour, right? This is the contour, and in perspective, that looks like something like this. And then obviously this thing is protruding, it's getting larger diagonally across. If this is the side plane, like that I just drew, right? Like, let's say this is like the side plane, like this, and that's the diagonal, right? That means it's getting larger like that. And then it's also retaining its diagonal state, and then this is the bottom plane, right? And then this is the contour that's coming through. And by the way, me explaining this to myself is helping quite a fucking bit, right? Like, that's the diagonal. And it, but now I'm actually confused as to, okay, it shouldn't be as large, possibly. I think it has to be a lot thinner as a diagonal, because it has to retain this bottom plane, like the same perspective. Yeah, there you go. That's probably a bit better, right? It's thinner, but it's larger. It's expanding vertically outward. Again, there's a lot of form manipulation happening here, so it's very confusing, right? Because there's contour manipulation, and then we're inflating the form, and then we're inflating it on a particular axis, or like the diagonal cross section, like that specific calculation, and then we're retaining the proportion, like the size, like the relative proportion of the contour within itself, and then trying to scale it and apply it. Like, there's so many things. And then on top of that, I'm not just fucking drawing that goddamn form. I'm trying to visualize this in my mind while I map the terrain. So, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful effort, right? So let's keep going, right? Let me actually rest my brain, and then we'll move on to the next repetition. I do want to keep trying new angles, because this shit is the same as, pretty similar to this. It's the same as this, basically, right? Like, yeah, like this angle, like this angle is basically the same as this one. Like, and I want to keep making it, keep challenging myself with new angles. And it's one of those things where, like, I can personally think, and I can say that, like, oh, I think I can basically draw, or like visualize the vast majority of angles. But the thing is, like, it is untrue, because I know there are angles that are difficult. It's just harder to, because I can draw many angles now. It's harder to think of the couple ones that are genuinely foreign, right? So I have to think about something, like what angle that when I think of immediately makes me be like, oh fuck, that's hard, right? Like, this was actually, like, it was difficult, right? Like, this is a bit more difficult than other ones, right? Like, but we all, like, everybody, I think, practicing anything, it's so easy to fall into the comfort of familiarity, and that is literally the killer of progress. And with that being said, please rest your brain. All right, wonderful. Let's fucking go! I don't know why I exclaimed that so loudly. As we're just drawing boxes, man. We're just visualizing the box while thinking about the diagonal cross section and seeing through the entire box and visualizing every single plane while also thinking about the ground plane and shapes that are embedded within it, and also manipulating those shapes, but only being able to wrap the plane around them. It's simple. It's only about like 15 things in your mind that you're holding at the same time when your brain is only capable of 9. It's all chill. It's not that exciting. Goddamn it! Don't be a pussy. There's not really a point I'm making there apart from the fact that this is hard and I am hard. But anyways, let's try a different angle, right? So, and like it's like difficult to personally, like for me, it's difficult to ideate. I just find it difficult to ideate. I don't know. And this is I'm not trying to like fucking typecast myself and put myself in a box and be like I am this type of person who struggles with this. But if anything, I am speaking from experience, fucking 1,000+ hours of experience at this point of just being like, damn, I seem to just this is a skill that I seem to struggle with, right? That's okay, man. That's okay. I'm not that's okay. But anyways, okay, I'm tilting it. Let's do this as the ground plane. So this will be our perspective, right? Yeah, I like these tilts because these tilts make me come. I think I already made that joke. No, these tilts are difficult, and that's why they make me come. There you go. Anyways, yeah, like it's what is it? They're like pitch, yaw, and roll or some shit. I don't know about any of that shit, bro. I just fucking rotate in as many ways as I can, right? I don't know shit about perspective, to be honest. And there's a lot you can get away with without knowing shit, right? But anyways, let's see. I'm trying to think about this. I'm trying to just think about the box right now, right? Well, I'm trying to think about the box. I'm trying to think about the ground plane, and I'm trying to think about different shapes that can be embedded, right? And I think this one I'll make a much larger ellipse, and we'll have this be. And again, I'm trying to think about the diagonal cross section. Like this is very taxing on my mind, but we'll have it be a larger half cylinder, like a much larger half cylinder, and then I want to. I'm trying to think. Like I want to obviously have it be manipulated, right, in some sort of way, like in terms of its contour, but I don't know how just yet, and I'm just trying to think about the box right now. But okay, we'll start, and okay, because I do want to like have as much understood or predetermined or pre-calculated or planned for before I make the mark, because once I make the mark, I'm just gonna be fucking jizzing in my mind, being like, oh, so much pain. Not pain, sorry, wrong word. I will explicitly apologize and say it's never pain. Friction. I said pain in a, like in a sarcastic sense, but it's not painful. It's friction, it's effort, and it's wonderful, right? God damn it. I know some dipshit's gonna catch on to the back. Ha 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 ha! It's painful. I knew it. Shut the fuck up. I literally said it as a joke. I don't need to explain myself to anybody. Anyways, back to visualizing, right? And let's see. This is the box. This is what I'm trying to calculate, right? And let's try to get so a large ellipse, right? And this is my box, so it's gonna be quite large. Actually, so this is my box, right? Trying to think about the diagonal cross sections right around here in the back, invisible, right? I know for you, you just see like blah, 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 but for me, I see dimensions you couldn't even fathom. But you will one day. You will 100% do it, because if I can do it, you can do it, right? It just takes consistent effort, which you are capable of, right? I always have to keep reminding everybody, whoever is here, to be like, hey, don't forget that you're capable. Don't forget that you're capable, right? But anyways, let's start. Maybe let's think about the other shape, right? Like right now, they're just doing cylinders. They're just doing semi-cylinders. So perhaps I should just stick with semi-cylinders. Fuck it. Well, we'll stick with semi-cylinders as well as diagonally manipulated contours, right? Because that's basically what I did here, no? Like, yeah, the semi-cylinders and diagonally manipulated contours. I cannot speak. But let's start. Goddammit, let's start. And again, like, I know I haven't quote-unquote started, but I'm thinking about the box. I'm seeing through the box. I'm trying to see all the diagonal cross-sections. I'm trying to think about the shape embedded on the ground plane. I'm trying to then apply the manipulations to that. That's being inflating or deflating on the ground plane, right? So there's a lot of things that are being thought of. And now I have to think about the ellipse that is part of this, right? And I have to think, okay, it's quite large. There you go. Maybe that wasn't too accurate, and I'm zoomed in right now while I did that, and you can see this curve is a beautiful error, right? And I'm trying to think in terms of, let's see, I'm trying to think in terms of, okay, we'll do another, I'm just trying to think, we'll do another diagonally manipulated contour, like so. And should I have one more? I guess I don't have space for one more, right? But there you go. And now this is going to be inflated in the diagonal cross section this way. It's going to be inflated larger in the back end, and this other one is going to be inflated smaller. So again, I have to really think about the overall implications in terms of, see, that was a fuck up. That was a beautiful, beautiful fuck up because I couldn't think about the inflated contour of the form in the back. Like I literally couldn't think about it. And while I'm doing this, I'm trying so hard to think about the diagonal cross sections, right? But this is subtle, right? This is if this is my box and this is the halfway point, like this is the very subtle diagonal. Like what I'm trying to say is like this is my side plane, right? And this is my diagonal, and then in the center line, right? When you cut through the center, that's another point here or here, right? And then you go diagonal that way, and that's the diagonal. That's a super subtle diagonal I've tried to do. Have I succeeded? Most likely not, but that's what I've tried to do. And then same thing with this diagonal, I'm gonna make it very, very small, and we will try to think about the contour. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Try to think about the contour of the opposite end, right? And I think I have made mistakes for sure, but let's see, because the biggest thing I'm trying to figure out is like when I deflate this, when I shrink the back end of the contour and at the angle that is per the side plane, right? Like, and again, like I'm trying to think about the entire fucking box right now, and it's very difficult trying to think about all the diagonal cross sections, and I'm also trying to think about the form and how this makes sense, right? Like, how does that work? This should have been an email. No, this should be, because this is going to be coming up this way. So like, how does that work? Because if I'm deflating it, if I'm literally deflating it, then does it not taper inwards? That is my question. I think this is maybe slightly diverging, like this and this, right? So that's my question right now, just in general. It's like, is it not? Damn, this is fucking hard, bro. This is so difficult. Is it like, I'm just thinking out loud here, like while I'm trying to hold the fucking box and all the diagonal cross sections, just know that much, right? But is it not, like I'm trying to figure out this manipulation, which is the beautiful part, but this is going this way. I've cut it down this way. The shape, it's like this is the back contour, right? It's a diagonal, so it's in that diagonal like shape, right? If this is the larger version that I've done, right, that's the smaller version that it's cutting through. But then, what does that mean? Does that mean it's like this in perspective? Like no, because then it's tapering, and it shouldn't be tapering because if I'm trying to keep it in perspective, right, there has to be something that I'm missing here. If in terms of when I shrink that contour, right? Like, okay, let me try to figure it out right here. We have a contour. This is the big one. This is the small one. In perspective, that will look like something like this, and then proportionally something like, so it is tapering. It has to taper because if I'm shrinking it proportionally and then I am like putting it right in this dead center, it is literally tapering. It has to be tapering within the box that has been established. Like it has to be. There's, logically speaking, there's no way around it, right? So that is something then I must consider, right? That is something I have to consider now, which is like, okay, if it's tapering, and I didn't even center this, then that's the problem, because this could have been centered better, right? And then if I think about this box and this diagonal, right? Yes. Okay, so the new understanding is the fact that the centering of the position of the back contour results in an explicit tapering, whether it's outward or inward, right? Inward? What the fuck? Inward, right? So converging or diverging in terms of its ground plane, right? So this should have been calculated like this. Like this should have been further out inwards, like to this direction, right? And it should have been around here, and then this would have been going diagonally, and then this would have been coming outward like so, because it is tapering inward. There you go. And then this continues on and creates the, wait, fuck, that's diverging. Yeah, that creates the plane. That looks a lot more natural. That looks a lot more natural because that's how tapering works. Such a simple fucking, not easy, but a simple application. But how is this application simple but not easy? Because you're fucking thinking about a million things, bro. It's space. It's fucking space. This is like, there's no other way around it. It's fucking space. Like, this should be technically tapering outward, right? And it's only tapering outward because I am manipulating the sizes of the contours at either end, at one end, right? Like, if they were both the same size, the plane is straight. Like, again, if we have an ellipse, right, a partial ellipse, and then the exact same partial ellipse on the other side, it's straight, right? Because the box, nothing changes. The size doesn't change. I know I technically made it slightly smaller, so that's on me. But the second this ellipse is large and this ellipse is larger, or this ellipse is sorry, not large, this ellipse is normal and then this one is smaller, we are tapering because we must meet, you know, outward or inward, diverging or converging, but we must meet it, right? It must be met at that point. Because if we're centering it, especially if we're centering it, and this is the center line, right? Like the center plane, sorry, if we are centering it, that has to be how it is. If we're not centering it, right? Even if we're not centering it, it still doesn't fucking work, right? Because it's still gonna have some sort of fucked up taper. Like if it was like this, and then I'm not centering it, and I'm just putting it to the side, and then this is larger like that. That means this is straight, and then this is tapered. So it still is like centering it is the more quote unquote aesthetic, beautiful, that more correctly designed, like a way to go about it, right? Especially in terms of like just understanding symmetry and spatial reasoning. But either way, let's see. We're supposed to have. I'm supposed to see this. No, but it's coming outward, right? So I'm not supposed to see either of the opposite, like the bottom of this. But I see the bottom of this. There you go. Okay, so let's... And again, like I still have to think about the box and the diagonal cross sections as well as the tapering, but this is incredibly difficult to do so. And that's exactly why it's worth it. Right? And I think I already like fucked up the placement. Like you see we started there and we somehow ended up here, right? So that's okay, because that's a beautiful error, right? This should have actually, yeah, there you go. It should have been down there. There you go. That's more accurate. But let's just, so if we're gonna continue like this, with this here, so let's bring it up, right? Because this, I'm trying to think about the form and how it connects. So it comes up here. No, wait. Where does this come up? Because it's curving, right? I'm trying to think about the opposite end of this. No, this curves up here. There you go. And then it comes up here. And I'm trying to bring it back. And that's the taper. But that's a bit too much that I did there, right? Accounting for that. And I haven't been able to think about the box. I'll be completely honest. I haven't been able to fucking see shit. I haven't been able to think about shit. I am in a beautiful struggle right now. A genuinely beautiful struggle. So let me draw the box. Oh, the box. Oh, what's crack? The box. Let me draw the box, and then I'll rest my brain, and then I'll do like the rest of the calculations and everything I was visualizing, right? But that was great. That was genuinely fucking amazing, right? In terms of calculation, visualization, understanding, doing my best, combing, everything was wunderbar, right? So this is the diagonal, right? This one right here. I actually thought it was. I actually thought this diagonal was, this is how I know my understanding of space is so shit still, because I actually thought this, because I thought this diagonal right here, like the way it's tapered, I thought that was just this one, but I didn't even realize the extent of my box or like the calculation or anything, right? Because again, the larger the box, the harder they fall. No, it's just hard. It's just difficult, right? It's just very difficult. And oh, see, I diverged that because I can't zoom out that much currently, right? When it comes to my my ability to zoom out and visualize a box at this scale is extremely limited, right? But yeah, let me just draw it through the box again. Like this is a skill. This is a skill I'm building of like being able to think about this box, draw through it, right? Visualize at this scale. It's the scale is the, again, I see I fucked that up, right? Like I keep fucking it up, and that's because I keep getting this opposite angle wrong, right? So a lot of wonderful mistakes, but I'm gonna rest my brain. That was very difficult, and I encourage you to do the same. I am wondering whether it would be better purely for your sake, actually. Let me get my pen. Yeah, because in terms of actually understanding, I want you to also be able to visualize what I'm thinking, right? So let me get a pen and let me actually draw the shape, the cylinder that I'm thinking of a lot more clearly, because this is a good 3 layers. Like we'll have the brush pen for the actual just adding more and more fucking pens to this shit. Look at this, all these fucking pens. But um let's add, okay, so this is like, so this, Figma, Micron, whatever the fuck you want to call it, like we'll use this as the basis for what I am, to explain to you what I'm visualizing, right? The brush pen will be like the actual, like what I draw, and what, like with all pure visualization and calculation, right? And then this fine liner will be the representation, like of what I'm actually thinking while I'm drawing, right? Like what the forms I'm thinking of while I'm drawing, right? And I think that should help. I think that should definitely help you understand, and see, like I'm fucking it up, but that should help you understand the degree to which I'm thinking, right? And what I'm thinking of. And also, again, keep reminding you that it's literally all just form. It's just form. And just form is, I'm purposefully saying just form, not to be a dick, but like in the fact that like, oh, like at the end of the day, it really is just about understanding space, right? And let's see, like I'm trying to think about this manipulation properly. Again, like this isn't correct because I fucked everything else up. So I'm obviously going to be doing something else like this, like in the next one, but it's just to give you an idea. And like the bottom perspective, especially practicing this is very important, right? But yeah, just to give you an idea of the form I'm thinking of, because like trying to figure this out is difficult. It is incredibly difficult. It is genuinely one of the most difficult things. I mean, no, what the fuck am I saying? Every goddamn drawing session, I fucking neuter my brain. This is right. So there's no point in me even saying like, oh yeah, this is the most difficult. But this is simply another beautiful, beautiful practice that I can spend hundreds of hours on, right? Like, and again, I just use that term hundreds to offset any responsibility in thinking that it's gonna happen soon. Because fucking spoiler alert, it's never happening soon, right? It's literally impossible for something to happen soon in terms of a skill, like a genuinely difficult skill to master, right? Like, fucking, the one thing I disagree with Alex Hormozy about is like he says stupid shit sometimes, right? And it probably just comes from a place of ignorance because he's never practiced this shit. But he's just like, oh, you can become, like it applies definitely to more soft skills and like different types, like because he relates it to sales and all that shit because he's a businessman, right? But he talks about how and by the way, while I'm talking, I'm trying to think about all the diagonal cross sections, right? But he talks about how you can be competent in any skill. That line was horrendous, but you can be competent in any skill in a matter of 20 hours, right? This is like the first 20 hours, and that's generally true. Like it's like thinking, and there's like something about thinking in or practicing in 20-hour segments. Like it doesn't take hundreds and thousands. It takes 20 consistent, like 20-hour chunks of extreme concentration and focus on a specific skill set, right? But then he likened it to like playing guitar. He's like, you can fucking be proficient at the guitar in 20 hours of practice, and I'm like, fucking incorrect. Anybody who's ever learned an instrument, right? Like I haven't played guitar, but I do play piano, and I can tell you the first 20 hours was me just fucking trying to figure out how to make my hands not spaz out every time I pressed a key, right? But again, my perspective is of someone who's extremely average to below average in all regards when it comes to skill acquisition, right? Like there's really nothing about me that's special when it comes to especially these creative skills, which are, funny enough, these creative skills, and I think this is something else that people just don't even realize unless you actually practice it. But like anybody who's an artist, anybody who practices any creative skill knows that the creative skills are extremely technically demanding. Like without a fucking doubt, whether you're a singer, whether you're a musician, right? Like singer is technically a musician, but whether you sing, you play an instrument, you practice a visual art, right? But as well as arts and crafts, right? These are all very technically demanding. Like there are patterns and rules and concepts and fucking foundations to be built in every aspect of these skills, right? So, and by the way, like I'm doing my best. I'm also trying to think about the form underneath while I also try to think about the diagonal cross section and all that shit. But lo and fucking behold, I am really, really, really incapable of doing that because I'm trying to hold both of them in my mind, right? And there you go. This is what I was should have been trying to imagine. See, that's off center a little bit, something more like this, right? Like that is how it should have been. And you can see like now this really showcases that's what I'm saying is that's how like the form should have been drawn. Like that is the shape and how it should have been, right? But you can see even this is pretty damn incorrect because like in terms of like the contours I drew, it really highlights like how incorrect my contours were, right? And see, and we get there you go. It's smaller, like that's why this line isn't exactly in perspective. Like it is centered. Actually, no, it isn't perspective, but now you'll see that this is a lot larger, right? This back end. I still don't think I drew that contour correctly. Actually, I don't think I drew it correctly at all. Like this center plane, sorry, not the contour. I don't think I drew it correctly. There's something about this that's missing. Oh, because I didn't make it hit there. I didn't bring this up further. Okay, there you go. Now that's a little bit larger, right? And it really is the difference. Like when you bring it up to here, you'll see that like, oh, okay, like that is the difference in the center plane. Like this is actually, it is a diagonal contour or a diagonal center plane, a center plane, a shape that's being inflated diagonally and expanding outward, right? Again, please forgive me for my lack of fucking being able to explain anything properly, but fuck you, I don't apologize for anything, I'm God. But anyways, I just want to be able to explain things as consistently as I can for your benefit, right? Because at the end of the day, like this is for you, right? This is, well, I mean, you, correct, that's all, but anyways, this is for you, right? Like, I really want, again, like, I really want this whole bullshit, again, while I'm doing this, I'm really thinking, but I really want the whole bullshit of, like, not even the bullshit, but just this, yeah, demystification, right? Get rid of the notion, or this sort of, yeah, this mysticism around art as this untouchable skill, right? The only thing untouchable is you. So, when we've established that, then we can say, oh yeah, so it's all skills. It's literally skills all the way up, right? Whew. And that's basically this shit, apart from the center planes, of course, but this shit is basically what I'm trying to see in my mind before I even make the mark. But yeah, like, and that's why, like, again, I'm building a simulation. The whole point is to build a draftsmanship simulation in my mind on the page, right? It's really, it's not X, it's Y, fucking AI speak, but it's really not about, it's genuinely not about being able to memorize specific objects. It's about understanding the absolute logic and the spatial reasoning behind what is being done, right? So let me do a smaller one here, actually, and then I'll do a bigger one down later. But this should be a good practice for just like a small terrain, right? And right now, like, there's so many ways to do this, right? And I'm sure artwod will like consistently improve. I'm sure the coming fucking dozens of exercises over the next 5-10 years will be more expanding, be like, oh, now do a form that's in the middle of the plane. Now, like, there's so many ways to do this. Like, there's so many fucking ways to do this. It's amazing how many ways there are to do this, right? But right now, I'm going to think about a cylinder in the middle of a plane, right? And we'll do like a very, we'll do an easier view for me, right? Which will be something like this. We'll do a front-facing view. We'll have well, we might even do something like this, where we have a cylinder that's tapered, like so. There you go. Right? It's technically that's a cone. That's literally a fucking cone, you know, a safety cone. But like, I didn't even realize. God damn it. This is how I know, like, I don't understand forms that well, because like it's so hard for me to sometimes conceptualize like how to draw unique things. And then I do this, I'm like, oh, that's literally what a fucking construction safety cone, whatever is, right? But I want to think, like, is there a way to make it more dynamic? I'm trying to think about, because like at the end of the day, I have to be able to wrap this shape around it. Okay, so I think I've gotten it, right? And let's do something like this. So let's make this large. And again, I'm trying to think about the box while I do this, right? Always difficult to think about the box while I do this, right? And again, not even looking at the line while I do it as well. So there's multiple things to hold in my mind. And now I'm putting the cone in the middle. I'm going to taper it upwards, right? I'm just going to taper it as per the perspective, putting it right up there. And now I have to think about how the land formation will shift in regarding to that, right? And I don't know if what I'm doing is correct at all, to be honest, right? And let's see, I think, therefore I am. No, but I think this, something like adding, and again, I'm really trying to think about the box, but I think adding these little indication lines will help with the understanding of the form in of itself. Maybe, right? Maybe. And again, like I'm really trying to think about the cylinder and everything, right? So that is basically it. I just wanted to like test my own ability to visualize, right? But no, we have to add the contours now. So I need to add the contour lines. So this is actually where my understanding will truly be tested in terms of, do I actually understand the form and how it wraps around? So let's see, it goes through, and then what is it? Is it like this? Because this is actually a little bit of form combination. Genuinely, like this is literally actually a bit of form combination, because you have to understand form combination is literally all about understanding the contours, right? Like that's literally all form combination is, and that's why it's incredibly difficult, because thinking, and again, like I'm trying to think about the box, but I keep forgetting, and me saying that is like me reminding myself that like to constantly keep thinking about the box, right? But form combination, and I don't even think I did this right. Genuinely, if it's 1 point perspective, I feel as if it should just be straight, right? I don't think I did that right. Like I feel as if it should just be straight, but I am also trying to think, I don't know, I'm trying to think about the curve. Like it's really difficult to reason this. Like I don't know if this is accurate. Something like this. No, that's wrong. That doesn't even look like it's, there you go. See, it should have gone, it has to be hitting that. There you go. Okay, it has to be hitting the edge. And then see that's where this fucked up, because I the edge is off. Yeah, it has to be it has to be hitting the edge. Right? And it's just, yeah, it's lots of mistakes. Let's try to do it this way as well, because yeah, let's do it this way. Actually, that's the way I should have done it the first time around, right? Because this is what would have helped me. And again, I'm trying to think about the fucking box while I do this, and the 6 planes, right? But this is what would have helped me really understand the form. And this is literally, say reiterate one more time, bro. But this is how we can genuinely understand the. And I actually like fucked up, because this is, do you see how like there's the ellipse is even complete? This isn't even a proper ellipse. So this ellipse should have been more centered. It should have been smaller, because that's the tapering of the cone. So like this is actually where the edge should have met. Like it should have been ending right around here, right? There you go. And then let's see, because something like this, right? That is the contour. And then let's do one last one, because I'm trying to really think about, and I don't think I'm doing this accurately at all, because contours are so hard to think about. And again, I can barely think about the diagonal cross section as well, but like of the box. And then this is the cone that I was thinking of. So let me actually like break down what I was. Oh my god, that was I love this, man. There's infinite ways to do this. There's literally infinite ways to do this. Like, and this combines everything that I currently know, right? And what I don't know as well, which is form combination, form manipulation, right? Contour manipulation. There's so many things, bro. God bless fucking Antonio. I'm literally gonna suck his dick so hard when I meet him. I never will. But in fact, I don't think artwod will ever acknowledge me because of my like. I mean, like it's just literally reality, right? Like, abrasive individual who swears a lot and constantly talks about sucking dick, right, while drawing boxes and cylinders. And you can see I made a mistake. I extended it further outward, right? Yeah, who basically like the channel's not PG or G rated or whatever the fuck whatsoever, right? And on top of that, I mean, I think that's the main thing actually. My personality is just unlikable, right? Which would make you think, is that really all there is to connections? Do I just have to be someone who people like? God damn it! But yeah, like, and my brain, like I can feel that warm pressure in my brain, right? And I'm just, again, I just keep attaching dopamine to errors. Again, I want to keep saying that. Like, I'm holding all these items in my working memory. It's genuinely extremely taxing, because I had to think about the box. I had to think about this cone, right? This cylinder that was tapering in the middle. I had to align it. I had to align it with the center, which I don't think it's aligned at all, but I tried to. And at the same time, while doing all of that and trying to hold all that in my mind, right? The 6-plane box, the diagonal cross sections, the form of itself being tapered in a line. I then had to start thinking about drawing the contours, right? On this plane that's being manipulated, in order to inform the plane that's being manipulated, right? Like, that's a lot to think about, and to reason the contour as well is very difficult, right? It's genuinely easily a dozen things to hold in my working memory, which is what draftsmanship is, right? Which is, it's a thinking skill. This is a thinking skill, all right? This is not a fucking I mean, I think it's kind of like self-explanatory. If I say this is not a not thinking skill, you're gonna be like, oh, great, what a great explanation, thank you, Biggie. But it's a thinking skill. It's literally a thinking skill. And the more you're constantly taxing your working memory, and the more you feel like a fucking moron while doing so, because that's what learning feels like. You're just like, bro, I'm trying to understand, but I can't understand. Congratulations, you're learning. And that's the friction that we chase, and that's the friction that we attach dopamine to. Like right now, how many times have I lost the perspective? Dozens. How many times have I lost the perspective in this entire session? Hundreds, right? Hundreds of times I've lost the perspective. And when I mean lose, I mean I literally lose it. Like I can't conceptualize it. I have to, it's not there, it's not being calculated, and then I have to bring it back, right? Like I don't really, I don't like intuition. Not when I'm practicing. When this is all like intuitive spatial reasoning. This is all intuitive understanding of form and spatial reasoning. What's being thought of here, the active thinking that's going on here, is composition, design, space, right? Scale, like, and when I say design, I mean design of the forms themselves, right? Like proportion, you know, storytelling, right? Gesture in terms of like some sort of dynamic movement here, like that's in line weight. Like I was really trying to practice that, thanks to the feedback from that Antonio specifically gave me on one of my pieces, right? But check out part 67, or the latest part of my stream, compared to this video, like whenever I finish this drawing, because that's when I did all the line work, right? The last stream that has this thumbnail. But yeah, like that's what's being thought of there. But here, my friend, here it is literally, it is literally all cognitive effort on spatial reasoning, which is the biggest return on investment you can have as an artist, right? It's literally the biggest return on investment you can have as an artist, right? And that is, that's just the truth. You know, you may be trying to run from it. You may even try to hide it. You may even try to fight it, but it is the truth. It cannot be replaced. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag, also paper tin, cannot be replaced? And there you go, that's the center line. It's just fucking straight because we're literally in the center. It's just a straight center plane, sorry. Not center line, center plane, right? But with that being said, I'm gonna rest my brain. Bars. Yeah, good shit. Disgusting. Anyways, please rest your brain. I know it's been an hour, but I wanna do one more. Then really push myself, but yeah, please rest your brain. Fuck, man, now I got fireworks stuck in my head. I deserve it. I did that to myself. Fucking goddamn it. But anyways, baby, you're a damn firework. But okay, yeah, it's been an hour, roughly an hour, right? Okay. But dude, like this is such a good exercise for form. For form manipulation, contour manipulation, spatial reasoning, manipulating planes, right? Even drapery, like it's great. It's wonderful. It's wunderbar. But anyways, now I gotta do a bottom perspective because we always gotta do the angles we struggle with, right? So let's try something super subtle, right? Super subtle. So super subtle. I'm gonna stop being retarded. Anyways, it's something super subtle, right? And did I already do that angle? What do you think? No, I have not done something this subtle. Okay, what I mean by super subtle is something like this, right? Which is actually what I wanted this initial one. Literally, this was supposed to be. So let's try to do what I initially planned on doing, right? And okay, let's think about the box, right? Think about the diagonal cross section. What the fuck did I do? Think about the box. That was a beautiful mistake. There you go. Think about the diagonal cross section, right? This one, invisible. And again, like it's tilting in my mind, so I gotta make sure it doesn't tilt. I really gotta make sure it doesn't tilt because in my mind it's turning into this again, right? So that it goes to show like that angle is unfamiliar, and that's what I need to hold, right? But either way, I'm gonna try to hold all of this in my mind, the diagonal cross sections, everything, and then we are going to think about the shape. Jesus Christ, bro. Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna think about the shape, right? And that is Well, maybe I'll start with the tapering shape this time. And you know what? We'll just make it even. We'll make it even because I've been doing a lot of this tapering stuff. And actually, I don't know. Do I want to keep doing it? I think I should. Like, I think I should keep pushing myself, to be honest. Right? That's me. That's my mind right now, trying to be like, don't do it, man. Don't do it. Like, it's fucking hard. But I think I should genuinely keep pushing myself. So let's try to. And I can barely visualize. By the way, this box, this drawing in the background is an obstruction. It is impeding my visualization and calculation. It is getting in the way. It is an obstruction, and that is normal. At least it's normal for me that when there's shit in the fucking background, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, get the fuck out of my goddamn vision, right? Because vision is also related to attention and focus, right? So that's literally an obstruction. It's a visual obstruction in the way to my mental calculation, right? My mental visualization. And let's see. Okay, so I think I got the box relatively down. And now see, like, I'm struggling right now because this is the end of the session, right? Output regression and all that good shit. But I'm struggling. I'm trying to think about the diagonal cross sections, and let's get an ellipse. Let's get an ellipse, and we'll taper it again, right? We'll make this one expand outward. We'll do it the same as this. Actually, no, we'll put the larger one first this time. So we will let's see. This is the box. Yeah, this is the box. Still struggling to visualize this box. You know what my brain is doing something like this, which is wrong. Like, this is a right angle. There's no such thing as a fucking right angle unless it's 1-point perspective, which doesn't really exist in real life, right? So we're trying to do at least 2-point, right? But either way, let's see. Trying to think about the box yet again. Fucking Jesus. Like, I'm just stuck here right now. But yeah, like, I'm trying to think about the box. I'm trying to think about the diagonal cross sections, the invisible and the visible planes, trying to visualize all of it. The second I do try to visualize all of it, again, it keeps going downward into this more tilted angle, and that is not what I want. Right? That is not what I want. Tell me what I want. Yeah, that's not what I want. So anyways, I'm getting fucking distracted by my own bullshit, clearly, right? And I'm trying to think about the diagonal. Okay, let's just fucking start. Let's start so I can get the angle down, right? And this is the hardest part of what I'm trying to do is the mental masturbation. No, the visualization while applying, like holding all of this while applying is the hardest fucking part. Like, trying to think about, and I'll make this a much wider taper actually, because I realize, like, why am I limiting myself to a thin taper and then like an ellipse? Like, this I get, like, it's gonna be a half circle, right? Like a half ellipse and like a half a cylinder. But I don't need to limit myself to a thinly tapered shape, like in terms of the other shapes. Like this can be a wide taper shape. Like, it's very possible, right? It's completely possible. And obviously, let's try to think about design. Oh, fuck me, I dropped the pen cap again, god damn it. But let's try to think about design. I brought it back, we're good. But let's try to think about the design. Like, I want to think, like, okay, what's a size, that, like, ratio or whatever that can be decent. Oh, I can do something like this actually. We can do and I'm trying to hold, like, the box in my mind while I'm doing this, right? And I'm trying to think about the form underneath. Of course, now you know, like, I'm trying to think about all this shit, right, underneath. And I'm also obviously, like, I can barely, like, project it outward, but I'm trying to project it outward. And I'm trying to think about and I haven't even thought about, like, whether I'm going to taper it or not. But I'm trying to think about an ellipse. And then what the fuck is it? And then another ellipse. There you go. And, like, I'm cutting it close here. And I think that's a decent ratio, right? Big, medium, small, right? Big, medium, small. Probably not the best. It's hard to think about any of that shit, to be honest, right? And again, let's try to get the box at least like this filled out. And that's not bad, all things considered, because, like, I wasn't able to look at this edge to inform my understanding, right? And now I have to think about, okay, what's the angle? What's going on here? Like, what is literally the angle that's happening? So this diagonal, right? And then the other diagonal cross sections. And I have to think about how I want it to be manipulated. So this one we will inflate. This one will inflate. So it's going to be larger. So we'll inflate it as such. Yeah. It's going to be larger, but that means it's going to be tapering outward. So that means I got to think about the center. So you see, like, how my center line, I was putting it this way, but that's completely wrong. That's literally diverging from this because my brain is incapable of thinking, of manipulating and extending the contour out in that direction currently, right? So I need to think about, there you go. Okay, so it's like this. There you go. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to make sense of this. And again, like, I can barely do this right now. This is why I'm silent, because, oh, see, I fucked it up. Whew, that was really good. That was really good. Right? And let's see, I obviously have this coming outward as well. It's attached to that. And because this is closed, we don't actually see that, right? That's like barely there. There you go. Okay, yeah, because we're closing that form off, right? And then this one, I actually think I ended up making it just slightly bigger in the same size, so that is incorrect. And then this one we'll make bigger as well. We'll make this one bigger as well. I'm trying to extend the form outward and trying to center it as well, right? Trying to center it right around here, expand it outwards, so it has to be, and again, it is half an ellipse in this perspective of the box that I can barely think about, right? So there you go. Oh my god, that is so fucking difficult. Something like that, and then this one we'll just make normal. This one we'll actually make it tiny, fuck it, and it'll be tapering inwards. So there you go. Bruh. Right, that was... I'm gonna rest my brain. I could barely think there, and I'm telling you, I could not see the box whatsoever. Like this, all my cognitive energy, all the items in my working memory, right, everything that I was cognitively trying to endure was purely focused on just reasoning this manipulation, centering it to the best of my ability of just this bottom plane, and like I could only see this plane. For the box, I could literally only see this. Like, that's all I could see, right? Because I could not reason any of the other sides. I couldn't see this, I couldn't see the back, I couldn't, and I don't even like, not even fucking, like the diagonal cross sections, forget about it. I think that's from a movie, right? Forget about it. I don't know, bro, I don't watch movies that much, but at least I watched a lot of animated movies, that's for sure. But yeah, like reasoning this, holy shit. But that was an amazing feeling. I'm gonna rest my brain, I encourage you to do so as well. Gonna finish this up probably in the next 10 minutes, right? Yeah, it's okay if I go a bit over my time. All right, God to the dam. And now comes a still very difficult portion, which is the contours, right? I have to understand the contour, so it goes through here, and then I'm trying to think like, where does it, I think it comes up, like we see a little bit right there, right? And then it goes all the way around, right? It goes all the way around, and then it, and by the way, like this is very difficult to reason, and I can barely think about it. Like I want to be very clear, right? Like I'm genuinely struggling, man. Okay, and then this is getting slightly larger, right? I think this is getting slightly larger, and then over here, and I have to keep the perspective the same, which by the way I don't think I've done at all, like because I have to think about the fucking, oh man, I have to think about the goddamn contours, and you see, like I've completely diverged it. Like where'd that space come from, right? So that's because I fucked this up completely. Like this right there was completely fucked up, right? So we're just gonna do 2 because, oh, see, I'm already fucking up that line, bro. But we're just gonna do 2 because I'm trying to still think about how this is all reasoned, right? And it's all reasoning. And what is reasoning, right? And again, I'm really trying to think about the box while I do this, which is incredibly fucking difficult because I'm already trying to think about the form and how it's connecting, right? To the, I'm trying to think about this form, like this form, this form, this form, and then like I'm trying to keep all of that in mind. Like this fucking wireframe, I'm trying to keep in my mind at all times, while also thinking about the perspective. And you can see I'm trying to do it in a continuous line, which results in errors, of course, right? Oh my god, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Very, very, very cool-worthy, right? So I have nothing else to say. It's just the same shit over and over. But yeah, that was like the amount of effort that was put into that was amazing, and that's all that matters, right? That is all that matters, because you cannot control the outcome. Like we genuinely cannot control the outcome, and you can see like I didn't even hit the ground plane here, right? But yeah, you can't control the outcome, so fuck the outcome, right? Like think about it. Like, can you really control what happens down to the minutia, as the youngins say? I don't think any youngins say that. Fucking kids are more illiterate than ever, right? from what I know, my sister was a teacher, and she's like, nobody reads anymore. I was like, what the fuck? I was genuinely so shocked. It's like nobody reads. All I did as a kid was read and play soccer, right? Yes, football for you Europeans, right? It's soccer for me, right? Soccer, right? Does that piss you off when I say like that? Soccer. Soccer is actually how you say it, guys. Football. The only real football is American football. If you didn't know, probably triggered some people there, and you're probably getting triggered even knowing that I'm rage baiting you. Your fucking European pride is like, and I'm saying, oh, I dare, my guy, I dare, right? I diddle dared. I'll fucking diddle your daring, right? And this is off, right? So it's actually down here. You see, like, again, beautiful mistake, beautiful error. I'm just nutting over the beauty of fucking up. But yeah, like, I'm holding many items in my working memory, right? Like, this is the wireframe that I'm trying to see. Like, this, all you see right here, like, this entire fuckery is literally what I'm trying to hold in my mind. But the thing is, like, am I capable of that? No, I'm capable of holding fucking 20% of this in my mind. But the goal is the thing is, like, I understand that it is possible to hold it. I'm capable of doing them in their individual components. The next 200 hours is simply being, and not simply in the sense that, like, it is literally just like a simple, what's it called, thing to do in the sense, or a simple action to take, right? In terms of like the lack of complexity the action has. When it comes to the directive itself, like, it's like, okay, simply do this, right? It's like, okay, that is technically simple, but like, but the next 100 hours is literally, not even 100, probably like 200 hours, is literally to consolidate and merge all that thinking. And by the way, like, I haven't been able to think about the diagonal cross section at all, because I keep forgetting, because there's so much to think about. Like, I literally keep forgetting, and that's another skill that I'm constantly trying to build, is the ability to remember, to recall, and to keep thinking about this shit while I do it, right? And it's so difficult. It's so fucking difficult. Like, I talked about this last video or practice or whatever as well, right? It's like, this is why I feel like an idiot when I practice. Got that wrong, because the back diagonal cross section fucked me up, right? In terms of like the way I applied it. But this is why I constantly feel like a fucking moron, because I know, see, and this line is already off. But I know that, okay, but I'm telling myself to feel good. I'm forcing myself to feel good, right? Like, seeing that's wrong too. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But I know that I'm trying really hard to think about all these things, but at the same vein, because I'm incapable of thinking about all these things, right? There's the friction induced is forcing, is trying to encourage frustration, and the skill is recognizing that the friction induced is the skill being learned, right? Like, it is the skill being learned, it is the skill being practiced, right? It is literally the part of learning. So again, like, I want to be very clear, like, I experience this all the fucking time, right? Like, I literally experience this all the fucking time, right? And the goal is to be aware that I experience this all the fucking time, and then do my best to, that's off, do my best to attach dopamine to that feeling. And you can see I actually tapered this incorrectly because it's not centered, right? So this is wrong, but you know, the idea is the fact that I was trying to taper it, right? Same thing here. This is a semi-ellipse that is being tapered outward, like so, in this perspective, right? And then I'm trying to think through the form. I'm trying to get obviously the opposite side, like the visible sides still in there. And then we have the center plane, right? The center plane. And that is also, what I'm trying to think about is so fucking hard, bro. It's good. I'm just like exclaiming that, damn, yeah, this is difficult. Like, I'm in nowhere in my vocabulary am I bemoaning the reality, right? Or lamenting or fucking bitching for you illiterates out there, right? I'm not bitching about the reality that this is difficult. I'm just saying, damn, like, this is difficult. Like, I knew it was difficult, and then I'm expressing, being like, oh shit, like, yeah, like, this is 100% difficult. And whether this expression is just a reflection of me affirming it to myself, or just an expression being like, okay, yeah, like, yeah, maybe I thought, oh, it wouldn't be this hard, but no, of course, it's only as hard as it is, right? Much like myself, but much like myself, ha ha ha, funny joke. But anyways, Great fucking session. Holy shit. I'm gonna rest my brain now, because make sure to rest your brain for a minimum 10 to 15 minutes after your practice session if you want to utilize the benefits of the spacing effect and being able to have the repetitions you just did be played backwards at 20 times the speed, right? I.e., shut the fuck up and rest your brain. Stop stimulating yourself after your practice session. It's very important and good for your learning, right? Neuroscience, neuroplasticity, wee, myelin sheath, myelination, neurons, and dendrites, axons, whatever fucking other buzzwords, right? The synaptic cleft, right? So with that being said, hope you really tried. Hope you did your best. Hope you put a lot of effort in. And as always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing. And please, money.